Hello and you're very welcome to this video lesson on Pythagoras' theorem. In today's lesson we're going to learn how to find out the length of a side of a triangle that isn't the long side, which is the hypotenuse. This side there is the long side, is the hypotenuse. If you want to learn how to do that, check out the last video there. There's a link in the top right corner right there now. So we are given two sides of the triangle. We're given the long side, which is the hypotenuse, which is 9. We're given one side here, which is 5. And the other side then we're told is y. So we need to find out what y is. What are we going to use? We're going to use Pythagoras' theorem, because Pythagoras' theorem tells us how to find the length of a side of a triangle. So I'm going to write out my formula there. C squared equals a squared plus b squared, which is available in your maths tables. So what's what? The next thing we have to do, now that we've written out the formula, and we always write that down because that gets us marks, we need to figure out which side is which. So we know that the C is always going to be my hypotenuse, or my long side, or the side opposite the right angle, if you're not sure how to identify that, which one's the longest. So I'm going to take a note of that there now. So 9 is going to be equal to C. Now, which one's A and B? A and B are going to be the other two sides here and here. It doesn't matter which we call which. So for this, I'm going to call A is equal to 5 and Y is equal to B. Now, could I say 5 is B and Y is A? Absolutely. Makes no odds at all. Okay, so now that I've figured out which one's which, the next thing I need to do is I need to sub them into my formula. So C squared, well, that becomes 9 squared, is equal to A squared. Well, what's A? A is 5, so that becomes 5 squared. Plus B squared, well, what's B? That's Y, so that becomes Y squared. Okay, now that I've subbed my numbers into my formula, I now need to do the maths on it. So, what's 9 squared? Well, 9 squared is the same as saying 9 by 9. If you're not sure about that, you can just put it straight into your calculator, and you're going to get 81. 5 squared, well, that's the same as saying 5 by 5. Or you can just put it straight into your calculator, and you're going to get 25. And then your plus y squared stays the same because there's not much you can do there. Now, what do we have here? I've got a bit of an algebraic equation here. I need to get all my numbers on one side and all my letters on the other. So have a think about, what am I going to do? Well, I need to get this number 25 out of here, and I need to bring that over to this side of the equal side here. So that means y will be all by itself. How am I going to do that? That's right, I'm going to subtract 25 off each side. So if I subtract 25 off the right, that'll cancel each other out. And I need to subtract 25 there. So let's continue on then. So 81 take away 25. You can do that into your calculator if you want. That's going to get 56 is equal to, well, 25 take away 25. They cancel out. And I'm just left with plain and simple y squared then over here. So 56 is equal to y squared. But I don't care about y squared. The question tells me that the length of the side is y, not y squared. So, what do I do? Well, the opposite of squaring something is to do the square root. So, the square root of 56 is equal to y squared, or the square root of y squared, I should say. Now, let me bring this down here. The square root of 56, if I put that into my calculator, and I round it to 2 decimal places, gives me 748. The question will usually tell you how many spaces to round how many decimal places to round it to. Okay, so 748 is equal to y. And there we go, there's my answer. So now I know that my length of my missing side here, y, is equal to 7.48. If you have any questions on this video, just ask below in the comments. If you like the video, give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks very much for watching, folks. See you again.